What up, YouTube? It's NoChainzz, and I'm back for another commentary, and we are back for another episode and the final regular season episode of the Cincinnati Bengals Connected franchise here in Madden 25. So in this episode, I'll be giving you guys some news from around the league, giving you guys some perspective and insight on how the Bengals are doing. And in the next episode, we'll have the first game of the playoffs, and I'll show you guys a little bit more on that a little bit later. So starting off this episode, I'm going to show you guys the injury report, and you guys can see right here, we got some very, very, very bad news. Giovanni Bernard will miss the remainder of the playoffs, and Geno Atkins will miss the remainder of the playoffs. So that is absolutely terrible. If we make the Super Bowl, I think that they may come back, but I'm not exactly sure about that. So that's terrible. But let's take a look at the year that we had. So I'm going to go ahead to team schedule, show you guys how we did this year. We finished at 11-5 because I simulated the last game versus the Baltimore Ravens. So we started 0-1, went on a big tear, 4 straight wins, 4-1. Then we lost to the 0-5 Bills. That made us drop all the way down to 4-2, of course. I mean, not all the way down, but you know what I mean. Then we won 2 straight after that. We had a very big win versus the Lions after this heartbreaking loss. And then we won this game versus the Jets. You guys missed that one because I think I deleted the file. I commentated that video and everything. That was terrible. I deleted the video. I actually commentated and everything. And then we lost versus the Dolphins. You guys remember that. That was a heartbreaking loss by 3. He threw a game-winning touchdown, talking about Tannehill. Then we won, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight. And we had a very convincing win versus the Steelers. Then we finished the season on an 0-2 run. So that is very bad. We lost versus the Vikings, which we should not have done, and the Ravens, we lost that game. I simulated that, but I'll take a look at the box score now since you guys aren't seeing it. AJ McCarron, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Oh yeah, I benched my starters. That's why. Okay, I see. Man, I don't understand how Geno Atkins got hurt. But anyway, I benched my starters in preparation for the next week. So Ray Rice did pretty good. I mean, James Wilder, 18 rushes, 17 yards. Wowzers. Okay. Receiving, Ryan Whalen had 52. Wilder had 41. Bente had 46. So before I even go any further, let's see what our defense did. Okay, Reggie Nelson had a lot of tackles. Taylor Mays had some tackles too. Charles Woodson had 8. He plays for the Ravens now. That's weird. But before I go any further, that's our season. Let me go ahead back to the depth chart and change that up real fast before I go any further, because honestly, if I started the game with backups, I'd be pretty upset. So let's get that done. Jeremy Hill, man, he's going to have to step up. My wide receiver core is different than what it is. I actually have Whalen playing the slot. You guys have seen him play very well. Tyler Eifert is very good. AJ Green played very well this season. My offensive line I don't mess with. But I'll show you guys AJ Green's stats a little bit later in the video. We have Robert Gaithers on the other side, and D tackle. He is out. I can't believe that. So I have Wallace Gilberry starting at D tackle. I like him at D tackle rather than defensive end. Vincent Ray, okay, that's right. Ray Maluga, Burfict on the right side. Got you. So that's perfect. Darquez Denard, Terrence Newman. Okay, yeah, that's good. I think everything's good now. So now let's look at the standings, and I can show you guys how our division did. But as you guys can see, I don't know if you guys have been waiting to find out, but the Bengals have got a wild card bye week. Wild card bye week. I said bye week. But anyway, we went 11-5. Even though we lost versus the Ravens, we still got the first round bye, which is very good. So I'll show you guys the standings a little bit more in depth now. So the Broncos, 13-3, 49ers 14-2. You guys always see them do well. Saints at 11-5, and the Bengals at 11-5. Steelers making the playoffs. Patriots, Cowboys finally getting past 8-8. Chiefs made it at 10-6. Ravens just missed it. Wow, 9-7, still couldn't get in, but you still saw 2 teams with 9-7 records get in. And then the Redskins made 8-7-1 and made the playoffs. So this is going to be a fun playoffs to see. Let me just scroll down and show you guys. We had a couple of ties too this season, which is weird. I think the Giants and the Redskins tied. Buccaneers had a tie too. Wow, there are a lot of ties. But these are the standings. Once again, here are the AFC North standings. But let's go to the articles just to show you guys. Peyton Manning won the MVP. I mean, that's pretty much a given. If your team or anybody on your team doesn't win it, it's pretty much a given that Peyton Manning is going to win it in Madden Connected Franchise. So let's look at the yearly awards. Okay, MVP. What I don't understand is how A.J. Green is not anywhere in the top 8, but whatever. I see Peyton Manning won, of course. Let's see who won Coach of the Year. David Shaw actually finished 4th, but it was won by Jim Harbaugh. You always see the 49ers do crazy numbers in Madden Connected Franchise. So AFC, let's look at the Offensive Player of the Year. A.J. Green is 3rd, but Peyton Manning, of course, the MVP as well, won that award. Defensive Player of the Year, Derek Johnson. Offensive Rookie, E.J. Manuel, because you guys know I have the rookies as well as the previous year's rookies. So E.J. Manuel still registered as a rookie. Geno Smith came in 2nd, even though his team went 4-12, and E.J. Manuel played well, getting a 90 overall, although his team went 5-11. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Barkevious Mingo. I'm not sure how Darqueze Dennard didn't win this, but okay, it's always Barkevious Mingo. Best QB, of course, Peyton Manning. Andy Dalton getting number 4 on that list. And a lot of you guys question why I started him. He's actually solid sometimes. So, best running back, I don't expect to see anybody from the Bengals up there. Giovanni Bernard got up there even though he didn't play much this season. Best wide receiver, A.J. Green. It better be because this guy played great. I'll show you his numbers in 1 second. Best offensive lineman, Ryan Clady. Best defensive lineman, J.J. Watt. Geno Atkins is up there too, man. And that's sad because he's going to be out, but he's been wreaking havoc on the offensive lines of our opponents. Best defensive back, Darqueze Dennard is number 2 for that, but he's not up there for Defensive Rookie of the Year. And Reggie Nelson is up there too. He caught a lot of picks this season and had a lot of tackles. Best kicker, I don't expect to see Mike Nugent up there, but it's Justin Tucker. Let's scroll through the NFC very quickly because that's not what matters, really. So Matt Forte won the Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, Luke Kuechly. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Eddie Lacy. Defensive Rookie of the Year, T.J. McDonald. Best QB, Drew Brees. Best running back, Matt Forte. Also, if I'm going too fast, you guys might want to pause it. Best wide receiver, Calvin Johnson. Best offensive lineman, Joe Staley. I cannot stand Staley. But anyway, best defensive lineman, Brian Robertson. I really like that guy. Best defensive back, Alterron Burner. And best kicker, Dan Bailey. So that's that. Oh, forgot to look at the Pro Bowl voting. Okay, so here's the Pro Bowl. Let's see what Bengals made it. I'm pretty sure some of our offensive linemen made it. So you see A.J. Green, of course. Tyler Eifert made it. That's very good. Clint Boiling, Kevin Zeitler. So we have a few Bengals representing. Then we have Geno Atkins, who will be out, which is sad. Then you have Darqueze Dennard, who made the Pro Bowl but did not win Best Cornerback or Defensive Rookie of the Year. But anyway, that's it for the Bengals. Let's go through the NFC. Trying to see if anybody stands out to me. Anybody who made it for the first time. I'm going through the offensive line really fast, guys. So, sorry about that. Anybody who plays offensive line that subscribe to me, no disrespect. But yeah, that's the NFC Pro Bowl roster. So now let's take a look at the stats. So I'm going to take a look at the stats for the Bengals, and I'm going to go through the stats for the NFL entirely very quickly. So the best QB rating for the Bengals is Jason Campbell, 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Had one very bad game that made his whole entire stat line look bad, but if he didn't have that bad game versus the Dolphins, he would probably be the best quarterback on the, or I guess he would have played the best. But as a QB, although the rating is not what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't show that, I guess. Andy Dalton with a QB rating of 101, not the best on the team, but did play the best out of these three quarterbacks, if you ask me. Even though A.J. McCarron had a very, very hot into the season, he did start off very bad. But overall, throughout all of their starts, I would have to say Andy Dalton played the most solid. So rushing, Giovanni Bernard was closing in on 1,000 yards as he was going down at the end of the season with 9 touchdowns as well, so that's very good, averaging 87 yards a game. Then you have Jeremy Hill with 581. Then you have Wilder Jr. with 162. He pitched in on 3 touchdowns as well. Receiving yards, here's A.J. Green. This is what I wanted to show you guys. So A.J. Green had 1,700 and then caught a touchdown for every 100 yards he got. So he played great. 17 touchdowns, 1,700 yards, very good. Marvin Jones wasn't that far off from 1,000 himself. Had a few more good games. He would have got 1,000. So he was at 742. Then you have Tyler Eifert at 600. Then you have Ryan Whalen with 478 and 3 touchdowns. And then Jeremy Hill from behind the line of scrimmage played very well. With 312 receiving yards. Giovanni Bernard had 261. Jermaine Gresham didn't have any yards at all, but had 2 touchdowns. I really didn't utilize him as much as I wanted to. But defensively, Ray Maluga had the most tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, no interceptions. Very good year for him. Let's see who caught the most interceptions. Darquez Denard caught 7. Reggie Nelson caught 4. Danielle Manning caught 3. Leon Hall with 3. 2 for Pac-Man Jones and 1 for Sean Williams. Let's see who had the most sacks. I'm pretty sure it was Gino. He had 13. Carlos Dunlap had 11. Robert Gaithers had 8. Wallace Gilbert had 5. Ray Maluga had 3. And Vincent Ray also had 3. Let's see who took those, or who had the most deflections. Leon Hall had 9 deflections. That's very good. Darquez Denard had 8. Reggie Nelson had 7. Terrence Newman had 6. Ray Maluga with 4, Adam Jones with 4, 2 for Vincent Ray and Danielle Manning, and 1 for Carlos Dunlap, Sean Williams, and Jason DeMonchi. So let's see who scored touchdowns, or let's go to forced fumbles. Who forced the most fumbles? I'm pretty sure it was Ray. It was, and he forced 3 along with Dunlap. Then Terrence Newman forced 2. That's weird, and 2 for Robert Gaithers. Let's see who scored touchdowns. We had 1. I'm sorry, I'm yawning. It's late and I'm tired. So we only had 1 touchdown defensively, and that was from Danielle Manning. And did we get any safeties this year? No, we didn't have any safeties. But let's look at the NFL really fast. Let's just see who led and what. We're going to go passing yards, touchdowns, and then we're going to do it like that for all the offensive positions. So leading in yards for the QBs is Peyton Manning, 33 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. He had a very good year, of course. That's why he won MVP, leading the league also in passing touchdowns, which is weird because it's usually a lot more than that. But who led the league in interceptions? Eli Manning. You would think it would be him because he's just so hot and cold, honestly. Who had the best QB rating? Brian Hoyer, but he doesn't really qualify. So Jason Campbell doesn't really either. So the best QB rating in the league, honestly, for QBs who have played enough, is Andy Dalton. So, hey, that's a plus for him. Who had the most rushing yards? Let's see who led the league in rushing. Alfred Morris. Then there's Adrian Peterson. And I think that was switched around in Alfred Morris's rookie year. I think he was behind Adrian Peterson, but he had the most, or the second most rushing yards. But let's see who had the most touchdowns. It was Matt Forte. And he had a very nice year, 1,600 rushing yards. For receiving, who had the most yards? You already know it's A.J. Green. I'm pretty sure he had the most touchdowns, too. This guy played great this year. Didn't even have the most receptions, but had the most yards. That's very good. Most receptions goes to Larry Fitzgerald. Let's look at defense. Who led the league in tackles? Brian Cushing with 180. Dang, tied with Trent Cole. Who had the most sacks? Oh, man. Dwight Freeney had 16, and tied for second would be Jadeveon Clowney, Ryan Shazier, and then Geno Atkins, although he's not up here, but he got 13 on the season. Interceptions. Who led the league in interceptions? Altaron Werner, Joe Hayden are right neck and neck. Hayden got 8 and Altaron Werner got 9. And then Tim Jennings, Champ Bailey, and Darquez Denard are tied for 3rd with 7. So I think that's it. I think I looked at everything. Oh, let me look at the schedule so you guys can know who's playing right now. And I'm going to go ahead and simulate. So let's look at the wild card matchups. Chiefs at Patriots, Redskins at Cowboys. I know that game would be crazy. Steelers at Titans, and then you have the Cardinals at Vikings. So I'm going to give my picks, and then I'm going to go back and see how I did. So with this game versus the Chiefs and Patriots, I'm going to take the upset, and I'm going to go with the Chiefs. Redskins and Cowboys, I'm going to go with the Redskins on this one. Steelers at Titans. I'm going to go with the Steelers on this one. They were a tough team this year. They were on a tough winning streak before we set them back. And the Cardinals versus the Vikings. I'm going to go with the Vikings on this one. So let's see how my picks are. I'm going to go ahead and simulate to the next week. Let's look at the goals. I reached 3 team sacks. That was for last week. 0 rush touchdowns allowed. We averaged 25 points per game. That's very good. We had 4,000 team passing yards and allowed 1,800 yards or less in a season. I'm not sure if that's correct. But anyway, we had 45 team sacks. I'm not sure if that's right. 45? That doesn't seem right. Let me check that really fast. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing. 45, that seems like a bit much. But, I mean, I know Madden doesn't get it wrong usually, but sacks, let's see. We really did get after the quarterback. Okay, yeah, that's about right. Okay, that's about right because that's 24 right there. 24 plus 8. What's that, 32? 32 plus 5, that's 37. Okay. Yeah, that's about, yep. And all these people got 1, so that's right. Okay, I'm tripping. I'm like, wait, 45? That doesn't seem right, but it is. So let's advance. Actually, I clicked the wrong thing. Sorry about that. Let's advance this week and see who we play next week. And I know I picked the Steelers. I picked the Chiefs. Wow, and we play the Pittsburgh Steelers in a divisional. I picked the Steelers. They won. I probably shouldn't have picked them, but whatever. Wow. Okay, let's see. Actually, I don't want to play the game. I just want to look at the schedule. Wow, man. I picked the Steelers. I should not have picked them because they actually won. So let's just go. Okay, so. Wait. Oh, that's the divisional. Okay, so I was right about KC. I was wrong about the Redskins. I was right about Pitt, and I was right. I said the Vikings, right? Yeah, I said the Vikings. Yeah, I picked the Vikings. Yep. So I was right except for Washington. Wow, KC did. Wow, they did 48 points. They got 48 points on the Patriots. Let's see who did very well. It has to be Alex Smith. What? They scored 48 points with no passing touchdowns? That is very weird. 3. Okay, no, he plays for New England. So 1 rushing touchdown by Jamal Charles, 1 rushing touchdown by Now Davis. The defense scored that many points. Defense and special teams. That can't be right. Come on. Wait. Okay, so Sean Smith obviously had 2 pick sixes, and then Brandon Flowers had 1 too. Or fumble recovery. I'm not checking it. Well, let's see. Actually, did they catch any interceptions? Yeah, 3 pick sixes. That's 21. Then I think it was 2 touchdowns. So that's special teams had to score 1 though, I think. No, none for special teams. Wow, the defense scored 3 times though. That's crazy. Okay, so we play the Steelers next week. Then the Cowboys play the Saints. Vikings play the 49ers. And the Chiefs play the Broncos. So 2 divisional matchups here. And the Chiefs versus Broncos and the Steelers versus us. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Gave you guys some perspective on how the Bengals are doing. We finished 11-5. And I think it was a pretty good season for David Shaw. But we are going into battle and postseason play without Giovanni Bernard and Geno Atkins. Although we do get Pac-Man Jones back, that's good, but we're really going to miss these guys. But I hope to see you guys in the next video where we will be playing against the Steelers. And I'll see you guys then later.